Honduras, we shouldn't have a problem getting into.
Now, Honduras, we shouldn't have a problem getting into.
Biggest scam we've ever been a part of.
And he just flipped me off on the way out.
Should be pretty straightforward, just kind of like El Salvador and Guatemala was. But we've heard horror stories about getting into Nicaragua.
Currently right now, they're searching the truck. They just saw Kramer, so they're charging us $10 for him. Found my drone batteries, found our binoculars.
It is very hard to get in sometimes. They interview everybody separately to make sure your story checks out. We're not hiding anything. And then they do background checks on who we are, what we're doing, why we're there. And since we have a YouTube channel, there is a lot of information about us on there. Not that we're trying to hide anything. It could make the interview and border crossing go a little bit longer than what it needs to go. So in today's video, what we're doing is we're going to show you the entire process of what this looks like. We have no idea what it's going to entail, whether it's going to be super simple or whether we're going to be stuck at the border for hours and hours.
No.
And one more thing, Nicaragua does not allow drones whatsoever. So we can't just hide it in the truck. Apparently they have this x-ray machine that goes through the truck and they'll find it. So we're not gonna hide it, we're not gonna take the chance. We are going to go to DHL and we're going to ship it from Honduras to Costa Rica and then pick it up from there. So today should be a very interesting day.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks to NordVPN for partnering with us on this video.
We're still in El Salvador. Beautiful beach. This family allowed us to sleep here overnight, which was amazing. But today starts the journey, a transit journey, if you will, from El Salvador to Honduras to Nicaragua. So currently we are an hour from the border to Honduras. And once we get to the border of Honduras, it's about a two and a half hour commute across that part of the country into Nicaragua. All right, we're gonna go to the beach, get some energy out of Kramer really quick, and go from there.
Okay. The thing with crossing these borders is that you have to have photocopies of everything. And if you don't have photocopies, they'll make you buy photocopies there. So we're on our way, but we found a photocopy place in this town. We're gonna get some copies of our passports and IDs, so that way we don't have to do it at the border.
One eternity later.
So that was the slowest copy machine I've ever been to in my life. Guy was super nice, but man, it was slow. He didn't just copy it onto the paper. Look how, look how big that copy is. So, hey, it works. It's just a big copy. Now we don't have to stop at the border for this. All right, gonna get in the car. We're gonna head towards the border.
That's not the first time we've done that.
Filling up before we cross the border. We are 5.5 kilometers to the Honduras border. So we've got to check out of El Salvador first, then check into Honduras, drive 2.5 hours through Honduras, check out of Honduras, then check into Nicaragua. Here's hoping.
Oh, around?
Oh, okay.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Super nice. So yeah, come right here.
Yeah, they're all getting searched for stuff.
They told us to pass all the semis, and then we were going the wrong way down the road
So that's
for a
what
while.
they told us to do. They said, go down the wrong way. All these arrows are saying, don't go. And they were like, no, go ahead. Okay.
So we finally made it to the El Salvador office. I'm not allowed to film inside. We'll keep you updated.
Nobody showed that paper on camera.
All right. That literally took 5 minutes.
Not even.
Not even. So we stamped our TIP, which means our truck can now leave El Salvador. Now we have to go leave El Salvador. So we're going to another station to get our passport stamped and then into Honduras. The people of El Salvador are hands down some of the nicest people we've met in all of Central America thus far.
So far, it's Belize and El Salvador, like neck and neck for nicest, in my opinion. I mean, there's a lot of nice people everywhere, we say that, but those two are standing out as my favorite.
They're just cracking jokes at the border. Like, it's so, like, they're just making it fun. It's, yeah, good people. Process took 20 minutes total, which is pretty impressive.
Super impressive. Very easy, very nice. I know we already said we like the Salvadorian people, but really liking them now. This process has been very easy.
All right, on to Honduras.
Time's been running out, I knew you couldn't last. Sand slips through our hands like an hourglass. You kept it dragging me down, down into your past. Oh no, 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 I ain't going back.
Ahorita el oficial de aduana. Habla español, señores, muchachos, jóvenes, adultos. El perrito me lo pueden regalar, no me lo regalan. No.
Back to the banks where I barely survived.
Where did he go?
He's right there.
Oh yeah, that's him.
The Honduras border is not as fun as the El Salvador border. It's chaotic and messy, and we are needing, Honduras wants us to have our title notarized, which I don't know why they want that notarized, but he said for us, he will get it. He will make it happen, which means more cash out of my pocket to pay him to make whatever happen. So that's where we're at right now. We've only been here 20 minutes, so I don't know how long we'll have to wait, but currently right now he is doing something to appease the Honduras government. Of any border that we've crossed right now, Honduras border is kind of rough and chaotic more than most, and there's a lot of people on the streets asking for money, trying to take your money, looking in people's cars, different things like that. So Sarah and Kramer are inside the car, and somebody's pointing at me. So, all right, I will be right back. So yeah, I am getting taken advantage of right now here in Honduras. It's not one of my prouder moments, but at least one thing I'm not getting scammed on is my internet security, which thank you NordVPN for keeping us safe. When you're traveling like us and you're connecting to different Wi-Fis, whether that's in cafes, hotels, just random internet, hang on, gotta cross the street. Most of these Wi-Fis aren't secure. Hackers can easily steal your data, and personally, I don't want all my information out there. That's why when we travel, and even when we're at home, I always use NordVPN. We've been customers for years. It encrypts my connection, it keeps my data safe, and it blocks those annoying trackers. Plus, if I ever need to access my account from a different country, I can just change my location, pretend I'm at home, and boom, it works like a charm. Plus, pro tip, if there's something on Netflix you wanna watch and it's not available in the US, you could watch it like you're in Honduras right now. It's super easy to use, all self-explanatory. All you have to do is download the app to either your phone or your computer, click the country where you want the VPN to be at, and browse safely. If only avoiding scams in real life were this easy. Look, if you want to stay protected, NordVPN is offering 4 free months for a 2-year plan. It's risk-free, 30-day back money guarantee. You can click the link down below, or you can go to nordvpn.com/Chris and Sarah with no H. Helps us out, helps them out, and
ultimately it will help you out. Thank you NordVPN for keeping us secure and partnering with us on this video. Now let's finish this thing up. I got the keys. You have all his documents?
All the papers, yes.
Original and copy.
For the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, all I have is
You have a
copy.
copy of your passport?
See, you have it, I think. See.
This is your need of
Okay, gotcha.
Hey, busca la moto abajo. You have to pay on a debit card or a credit card on the other side of Salvador.
Perfect.
I wait and make it the permit now, and you coming back and make it.
Okay, we'll meet you back here.
Yeah. Sí, dale.
All right.
O si no, que se la saquen allá las copias. Cuarentena, andate allá y lleva copia también. Hola. Por Puente Nuevo, allá que te esperen después allá.
Where was this online, but apparently you have to go back to El Salvador to get a permit for Kramer so he can enter Honduras. So they called us a tuk-tuk. They're gonna drive us over the bridge. Meanwhile, the guy is handling the situation for us. Just another day. Thank you. No. No. Yeah. Okay. So technically we're illegally back into El Salvador right now. Yeah.
Over here.
Okay.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Literally back where we were in El Salvador.
Paper?
Solo trae certificado.
We just finished up. It was a lot more hectic than what it needed to be. A lot of just sitting and waiting. So via credit card, we had to pay for Kramer to get a permit so he can enter Honduras. So now we are leaving El Salvador again by foot over the bridge because we're here illegally. And then hopefully this will be resolved. So this permit in Honduras, while they were willing to let us just go without the permit, apparently when you try to get out of Honduras without the permit, you run into the same problem. So hopefully this has fixed an issue for us, and now that we have a permit for Honduras, we're able to get out pretty easily. This river divides El Salvador and Honduras. And there's our tuk-tuk. No, I've got US. Yeah.
40 US.
40 US. I need. We were not expecting this border to be the problem today. So it is 11:25. We left at 7 a.m. this morning. Got to the border around 8:30 or so, and I've been here since.
Hello. I'm just getting your coffee cup.
I don't think you need coffee. I think we need beer. Also, we've been filming a lot of this video on our GoPro. So if you're like, hey, this isn't up to the cinematic quality you guys normally put out, it's because we didn't feel like bringing the camera out into these situations, and I think we made the right move. So. Oh, my signature? Oh.
No.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Oh, okay.
He's come here.
Okay, bien. Just stay here, sir.
Okay, get on my lip.
What do you need? Listen to me. This is for the government permit.
Okay.
Got a receipt. Don't.
No. This is all.
This is for the permit. Got a receipt. Okay. So the problem is this. Okay. The problem you remember.
I tried to record that, but he didn't like the camera. So he's going to bribe the people right now to get us through. I don't know. This is just a mess.
I better hope they didn't put nails in the right tires. He's mad at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, you shook me down everything I had.
Biggest scam we've ever been a part of.
And he just flipped me off on the way out.
Biggest scam. This and they work for the government too. Like they go in the government buildings. Like
they have badges.
They have badges. So you don't like. It's not just somebody on the street that you're talking with. Like they
will not let you through.
So yes, we needed to go back to El Salvador to get a permit, but he wanted $150. Not a great first impression for Honduras. Honestly, we're happy to get out of here.
Where am I going? How do I get out of here?
Just go straight. Oh gosh, just like so freaking ridiculous. All right, we're gonna cool down and then we'll talk to the camera here in a minute.
Sure, everyone, what's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait, everybody calm down!
So now that we have cooled down, me in particularly,
at least emotionally, not physically.
At least emotionally, yeah. Physically, we're sweating it out. Let's explain what happened back there. So when we crossed into Honduras, immediately we were greeted by staff members of the Honduran government. And they came up, they were like, hey, we need copies of your passport, we need copies of your TIP. Then this second gentleman walked up, had a badge. He looked official and was working and talking with the government officials.
I mean, like, he looked official. Like, we know to watch for scams. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Like, we know, like, we've been through this several times in all sorts of places around the world. There was nowhere to go. You asked him where to go. The lady who checked our passports in customs or in immigration, she would literally not say a word to us. Like, I was speaking Spanish to her and she just was like visibly rolling her eyes at us. Like, she was so over us. Would not help us, tell us where to go, would not do anything. There was no signage besides immigration on the side of one building. And we only knew where that was because the folks in El Salvador had a paper, a map. They're like, you're never gonna find this. Here's a map of how to get to immigration. Like, it's that complicated to find it. It was just a disaster. It was an all-around disaster. And like, if there were actually government officials, the ones behind the counter were wearing the same polos as the guy who was bothering us. So like, who are we to argue with it when they're like, we had no one else to ask. Like, everybody was like either ignoring us or shaking us down.
We're reading reviews on iOverlander, and one couple had a very hard time getting out of Honduras because they didn't declare their dog when they first came in. So we thought, hey, we need to declare him now. That way we can get out of Honduras and not have a problem. Well, that's when the whole El Salvador thing happened, when they made us go back to El Salvador to get a permit for our dog so they could use it for Honduras. In the meantime, while we were doing that, this gentleman said that we could not get our truck into Honduras, even though we've gotten it into Belize, Guatemala, Mexico, and El Salvador. We were not allowed to get the truck into Honduras because our title was not notarized.
Are any titles notarized? I've never had anybody ask for a notarized title, ever.
So immediately my sirens are going off a little bit, but I'm like, all right, like, whatever, let's just do this. So we go to this copy room, and then he's like, hey, there's 3 of us. 2 of them are really okay with you coming through, but then the third one is a really like stickler. He's a stickler for the rules, so we need to ease the tension. And so that's when he's like trying to bribe these guys, and he's bribing and doing all this, and then he comes back and I'm just waiting. When we do go through these borders, we never hand over our original documents. We always hand over copies, and I'm so glad we did. So he then
proceeds to come up and says, look, for $150 US, we'll let you into Honduras. And immediately my sirens are just going off. I'm like, wait, this doesn't feel right. He's like, show me your wallet. So I open up my wallet.
Why would you ever pull your wallet out when he says that?
Because the reason I opened up my wallet at first is because he was like, hey, we need to pay this fee. So I did. I paid that fee, which we needed to pay. But then he was like, now I need $150. And I'm like, I don't have $150 and I'm not gonna pay you $150. He took a look at my wallet and he saw all these bills. Well, unbeknownst to him, they were all Guatemalan quetzals. So they're not US dollars. And he was like, well, you seem to have a lot of money there. It wasn't a lot of money, it just was a lot of bills. I'm like, hey, I don't have a lot of money, I can't do this. And he's like, come with me. He takes me back to that copy room and he puts me in a dark corner, and immediately I'm like, I shouldn't have walked in here with this. And
you made a lot of mistakes.
I made a lot of bad choices. I made a lot of bad choices.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know this was happening because I was out here making sure Kramer wasn't suffocating.
So we're in the back corner, he's like, you need to pay me, otherwise you'll have to go back to El Salvador. And I was like, look, man, I'm happy to go back to El Salvador. They're friendly and they're not shaking me down like you're trying to shake me down. So I'm in the back corner of that copying room and he's trying to get me to give more money. And that's when I start raising my voice. I said, hey, you can keep all my papers. We'll go back to El Salvador because they're friendly and they never once tried to shake me down. And that's when his tune changed and he was like, no, 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 no. And so ultimately, I paid him $30, grabbed the papers out of his hand because they were the ones that were for us to get through Honduras.
It was our import permit.
It was our import permit, and we ran back to the truck, locked it, and that's when they immediately tried to circle us and make us stop again.
Well, those are different. Those are different guys. Those are guys who are like, we've been watching your car for you, which is kind of normal that people want to tip. Like, I'm keeping an eye on your car here. No, sir, I parked in the only parking spot for the immigration office, and you just happened to be next to it. He's like, I watched your car the whole time. Like, you're not even the same guy who was here when I first parked. It was a young kid here. And one, we have no more money left. Like, you took all of our money. So they were flipping us off and they were very mad. And usually, like, if they were watching our car or if they helped us park, like, at least in Mexico, like, you know, every time somebody, you know, helps you back out of a parking spot, they want a tip. And like, I'm used to keeping a few pesos or something on hand for that. But these guys, like, they literally didn't do anything. They were not even there. Like, we walked past our car several times, weren't even anywhere inside. So they just like came out of the woodwork. We got in our car and we're like, give me money. I need money. And then they were just mad. And it was, I want to like every country I arrive in, but every single part of that experience was so negative that I just want to get through Honduras right now. And I hate that. I hate that so much.
And that's exactly what we're doing. So we are driving, we have to stop at DHL so we can ship the drone, so that way Nicaragua doesn't confiscate that from us. We will be hopefully in Nicaragua tonight and go from there. And one other thing, there were other overlanders there and it was taking them just as longer because they were having to deal with the same stuff that we were dealing with. They didn't have a dog, so I don't know.
I think they were Canadian.
They may have been Canadian or something, but it wasn't just us. That whole border experience was a nightmare, and that was the one that we weren't even worried about.
But given the political landscape in the US right now, we hold American passports, and all the people we've read reviews of recently have not been Americans. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. And maybe it's just like a little bit of like, you know, they don't really want to welcome us since America tends to not be so welcoming of them right now. I don't know. I don't want to put that on there because I know there are very nice. In the past, I have known people back home who were from Honduras and they were so nice. Like, I really liked them. They said it was a hard place to live, but they liked their country. But I know nice people exist here, but so far we haven't gotten to see it, and I'm sorry, we're probably not going to give it a good chance this time either.
I don't know, I'm talking about it and I'm getting angry more. All right, we're going to drive, get to DHL, and go from there.
Pico, dame una ayuda para poder viajarte Ucialpa.
No. Found a DHL here in Honduras, making a quick pit stop, gonna mail it, get going. Caesar and Sandy have helped me tremendously with this drone. They are amazing. Took all the guesswork out of it. They said we deal with you people all the time. So just say hi to YouTube.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's get back to the road. Have the receipt. Now it's time to get to the border because it is 3 p.m. and we're running out of daylight.
All right, it is 3:30. We're about 40 minutes away from the Nicaragua border. Sarah went into the back and put all of our knives, a wine bottle opener, what else?
Binoculars, scissors. I don't think they're gonna care about the scissors, but they're like cooking scissors, so they're a little sharper.
Anything that's deemed as a weapon, which in my hands could be anything, we have to put away because they don't like that. And apparently they'll put it in an envelope and we can't open the envelope while we're in Nicaragua.
Or they'll just take it.
Or they'll just take it.
We're at the border, we're passing the semis. No.
No, a border.
Yeah, go. Let's go. All right, update. We're out of Honduras. That took less than 5 minutes. Very different interaction than when we came to Honduras. So next is Nicaragua, which Sarah is getting all the paperwork ready.
Woo!
She's super excited. Hopefully it won't take super long. They've been known.
Famous last words. This was super quick.
This was super quick. Nicaragua has been known just to detain you for hours, for no reason, just to make you wait. So we'll see. Currently, we are sandwiched in a bunch of semi-trucks. Sarah just drove onto the sidewalk, but now they're moving some of the semi-trucks so we can maneuver into customs. Look at this. You're good on this side. You got it. Drive right up here. Oh, we are definitely going on this sidewalk on this bridge.
Did that. Hola.
Heading into Nicaragua.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna hurt. Keep going.
Yeah. Gracias.
So far, so good.
All right, I'm gonna turn off the camera and we're just gonna have the dash cam, so I don't want to draw any attention. Cincinnati Reds.
Hola, ¿dónde es la inmigración? ¿Pasaporte?
They're fumigating our car right now.
Bien? Guess we just pay it there. Oh, we pay. Bien?
Bien.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Currently right now, they're searching the truck. They just saw Kramer, so they're charging us $10 for him, which is fine. But right now they're searching the truck. They found my drone batteries, but we showed them the receipt that the drone was mailed, so they're fine with that. They found our binoculars, but they don't have night vision, so that
looks okay too. So Sarah's handling all that while I'm standing here on the side of the road. This is definitely the most thorough anybody's ever gone through our truck before. All right, so it is 6:35. We are done in Nicaragua except for one thing, and that is our binoculars. They didn't like our binoculars, so they're having to go test it and see if it's night vision. Yeah, so we're literally just waiting for our binoculars. Everything else is taken care of. Our car is imported, we're imported, Kramer is imported. And best of all, these people in Nicaragua, we had hyped it up so much because we had seen some videos and read some posts about just how intense and how obtrusive this border was. It's not like that at all for us. At least, I mean, everybody's been so nice. They're laughing, they're having a good time. It's pretty quiet for the most part, but it's just taking a little long. It actually moved pretty fast compared to the other borders, except for this whole binoculars issue. So we're just kind of waiting and seeing. Definitely hyped this border up more than what we did Honduras. We should have flip-flopped it in our experience. But so Sarah is inside right now waiting for them to give the binoculars because she put them under her name. So she's just waiting there. And Kramer and I are just chilling in the camper.
Onward to Nicaragua.
It is 7:14. All things considered, we're feeling good.
Just over 2 hours to get through immigration and customs in Nicaragua is pretty dang good.
Pretty good. And people were so nice. We'll talk about it more in a minute, but we gotta finish actually getting out, but we're almost there.
I think this is Nicaraguan, right? Our first Nicaraguan beer. Made it about 10 miles over the border before that. Oh my gosh, we're so tired. Puppy. Okay, so long day. I don't think we could be any happier with how the border crossing into Nicaragua went. For the most part, seamless. I think the only hiccup was that we misunderstood where to go first. We got the lines mixed up because there wasn't great signage, and that was partially just my fault and misunderstanding where they pointed. They're side by side. Anyway, that was the only hiccup. Other than that, we were in and out in 2 hours. I have read where people have sat there for like 4, 5, 6 hours just trying to get through. 2 hours? I think that's faster than we got through Honduras. Honduras was a nightmare for us today. Nicaragua, easy peasy. People were nice as can be. They were kind of reserved at first, and we just smiled and like cracked a couple jokes with them, like asked them how they were doing. They lightened up. I don't know. It was just a really good experience. In fact, I was like, okay, let's go to Nicaragua. Like, it was so intimidating coming into it. Now that we're here, it's great. We got an Overlander. All the semis are driving at night. The road here is really dark. Like, the road's nice. It's well paved, but it's really dark. So we just pulled up Overlander, found one of the first things, and it was a restaurant of a family, nicest family, like super nice people. Their dogs came out and said hello. The husband's super nice, the wife's cooking, and we got a beer because we were tired. I was like, it's been a long day. He's like, see.
All right, guys, we will see you in the next one.
For behind the scenes and extra content, you can head on over to our Patreon community. Otherwise, be sure to follow on Instagram or like and subscribe here. It really helps creators like us.